Okay. All right, Kelsi, let me find you. I see your beautiful face, but I want to unmute you. There you are. Okay.
Hi.
Hi. I'm so glad you're on. Thank you so much for taking your evening to join us. Just jump right in. Just introduce yourself. Tell us when you got started and stuff like that. And then you can really just dive into your story. I will say before I let her go that the way that I have quote unquote met Kelsi, we've never met each other in face to face, but we've been in a couple of ambassador push groups and just different groups here and there. Right now we're in like a focus chat together, and anytime she chimes in, she just inspires me so much. And then I don't want to go too far into it because she might want to share it, but she recently had a TikTok that blew up, and it showed up on my For You page, and I saw it and I was like, I know her. And just the way that she's so transparent is one of the things that I would love for you to touch on after you get through your story. So go ahead and introduce yourself, girl.
Okay. Hi, guys. So my name is Kelsi Ullom, and I'm a mom of 4. When I started the business, I only had 3 kids, and they were ages 5 and under. And it will be 6 years in May of 2021 will be my 6-year anniversary. So I got started in the business in 2015 when social media was completely different. It's incredible how much social media has changed, I think, in 5.5 years. And I'm going to touch on this a little bit later, but I've had to learn how to grow and change with social media. So if you've been around for a while and you just feel like you haven't leveled up yet, I want you to hear my story and understand that it's okay to fall down. It's just not okay to stay down and let that take you out of the game. So I got started in 2015, and I was somebody who promoted pretty quick. I went diamond in less than 90 days. I signed up behind my husband's back, just, that classic story. I sold my daughter's clothes out of her closet. Anything that I could sell to a consignment shop, I sold it. And that's how I got the money to join. And my husband is, I don't know if he's around, I'm not supposed to say, but he's an undercover narcotics and violent crimes agent. So his whole world is drugs, okay, just to put it plainly. And being a mom of 4 and being married to a drug agent, my life is insane. So I can't use the fact that I don't have time or help as an excuse to fail, because it's just going to be that way. He loves his career, and when I got started in the business, he was just stepping into that career. So he was called a boot, and boots are basically they're the doormat under your feet. They don't have good shift hours. They're called out all the time. So I woke up feeling sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I was that girl that was pursued for 9 months. So my enroller, she messaged me for 9 whole months following up. And I was that, just to put it bluntly, I was that a-hole that was like, I'm on your website right now, girl. I'm so signing. That was me. And I was so scared because I come from a really small town in West Virginia. And where I live, people are very behind in the times. So people, when they think network marketing, they immediately think scam, pyramid scheme, 1990s, 1980s. They are not on that playing field, okay? And everybody that I knew that had tried a business like this failed. I had watched so many girls from my hometown not only try, but be made fun of by everybody we went to school with. And I was like, I don't want to be humiliated. I think we all have that in us where we're so scared to put ourselves out there. And I'm an all or nothing type of girl. My color personality is blue-red. So being a blue, I hate rejection and I hate being embarrassed. So when I got started, I knew that I was going to have to swallow my pride and go all in. And it was going to be really scary and super uncomfortable, but I was very committed. So I came into the business. I immediately saw this opportunity to start marketing on Facebook. So I went all the way to presidential on Facebook. And I'll touch on this a little bit later too. I had to learn how to work different platforms after I had hit presidential. So that all happened this year. But I went triple in 10 months. So I went from making insert the IDS, like my first year I made like a little under 20,000. And then my second year I made over 100,000. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, like this is real. And I want to become a professional in this field. But what I didn't do, and take this note this please, I didn't do personal development because it wasn't preached back then. It wasn't something that people really talked about. But if I had done personal development, I know that I would have gotten back up a lot quicker from the face plants that I took. So I promoted to presidential in 2017, in August of 2017. And that year, a lot of people left. That's when we started seeing a lot of people leave. And, I made a decision back then that I was planted. The month that I promoted, I went through a fertility treatment, paid a lot of money, and then I went through a miscarriage. So I promoted to presidential during all that. And my time in the business, I went through 2.5 years of infertility. I went through fertility treatments. I went through 3 miscarriages, and it was a nightmare, you guys. Like, you have to make a decision whether or not you're going to feed this baby that is your business, or you're going to feel really bad for yourself in the positions that you're in, because you're going to face life in this business, period, end of story. So I went through all of that, and I lost my footing. My team, like, I had team leave, I had people quit, I lost myself in leadership, and I came to a crossroads, like right before I finally got pregnant with my last baby. And so I finally get pregnant with him, and I had a NICU baby. So this was my second time going through that. I have 4 kids, and my second son was a NICU baby. So I knew what I was facing. I knew I was facing big bills. I knew I was facing a lot of emotion, because when you're separated from your baby after birth, it's a nightmare. And the hospital that I delivered at, because I live in such a small town, he had to be life flighted to a larger hospital, which was an hour and a half away. And then I had 3 big kids at home. And then my husband's career is just booming. So I'm like literally trying to balance all of these things. So my business really died in 2018. I lost myself. I didn't hop on the host to post train. I felt burnout and really tired. And some of you guys may be listening to this and you're like, dang girl, like I'm burnt out, like 2020's kicked my butt. I feel that 2020, like what I'm doing now, that was my 2018. So if you guys are there, I need you to know that it's going to be okay and you will overcome. So I delivered my baby on Halloween. He was 34 weeks is when I had him. He was life flighted to a NICU. I was very ill after I delivered, so I didn't get to see him for about 5 days. When I finally got in there, I'm in my little rocking chair, doing kangaroo care, holding him, and I commissions posted, I think is what happened. And I had the lowest check of the year. I mean, just the lowest. And it was like such a gut punch, because I knew those NICU bills were coming. And I knew if I did not get my crap together, that I was going to have to go back to work full time. And I was not willing to do that, because he was my 4th child and the first baby I ever had that I was going to get to be home with from day one. So that's when I decided to bring my business back to life. And you guys, it's been a journey. It's been so hard, because I've had to learn how to develop myself as a person. Not only that, but I've had to learn to become a mom of 4, which is like, 3 is hard, 4 next level. It is like Jumanji. There's so much going on all the time. And some nights I don't sleep. Some mornings, I have to get up really early, and then it's just, you're tired. Like, motherhood is tiring. I don't care how many kids you have. It's just hard. So I made a commitment to myself to bring my business back to life at that point. And then in 2019, I lost 78 pounds. And my only goal in 2019 was to get featured at conference. And so at conference this year, I got to be featured for my weight loss journey. So that was really special. But you guys, I've been on the roller coaster ride in this business. I know what it feels like to just faceplant over and over and over again, and lose your confidence and lose yourself, and not know what's going on, and look around and be like, these people trusted me and I don't know if I'm leading them right. So coming into 2020, I was so confident, like 2020 is my year. It's going to be amazing. Okay. Well, then I had to learn how to homeschool 3 kids, which, by the way, I'm not built for. You can put it in the chat. If you're not built for that, you put it in the chat, because your girl's not. Okay. I don't have patience. I have a short fuse. I love my kids, but no, it's not for me. So I'm learning. I had to learn like all these things. And then I'm also an extrovert. So if you're an extrovert, you can drop a 1. I hate being cooped up. I hate not having contact with people. I was starting to deal with a lot of depression and anxiety this year, at the beginning of the year, when all this was unfolding. I was like, what am I going to do? And so I felt myself sinking back into that place, in that hole. And that's when I realized, like, okay, you got to get up. And it was like over and over again in my head, like, get up, girl, get up, get up, get up. This was summertime. And that's when I started really doing TikTok. So I started doing TikTok this summer, and I made a commitment this year to start growing my Instagram. So I think I started out at the beginning of the year, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 followers on Instagram. And now I'm over 10,000. And a lot of that is due to just immersing myself in that world. And something that I want you guys to take away is that this business is ever changing and ever growing. So you've got to learn how to grow in different areas. And I truly believe, and not, this isn't meant to be scary, but I truly believe that Facebook won't be our primary place of promoting our business anymore. It'll be other platforms. So if you're ahead of the curve and you're ahead of the game because you're willing to learn and invest in yourself and take that time to be bad at something, then you're going to see growth from it. So I saw that growth. And I find joy in making videos. So, I mean, you guys can drop in the comments, what do you find joy in your business? I personally don't love host to post. Do I do it? Yes, because it's necessary. It's necessary. I know it's my quickest way of signing customers, but I don't get excited or get a high from doing a host to post. I do from posting a video and sharing my heart. That's part of my color personality, is like, I've got to turn everything into a fun game or I don't want to do it. So if you're a blue and you're listening to this, or you've got like an ounce of blue in you, please know that there's a way to turn everything into a game, and it can be fun, but you have to figure out how to do it. So I made this TikTok video. It was right at the end of last month, and basically we filmed it a couple weeks earlier, and my husband had this concept of, let's share your postpartum story. So for those of you guys that don't know, when I was 20, I had my first baby, and I dealt with some depression during my pregnancy, and I didn't know it. I had no prior, mental illness at all. So I get pregnant, I get married 6 weeks later, and then I have this baby, and my whole world just came crashing down. I ended up going into postpartum depression very severely. And on December 26, 2010, I planned to take my life. I wrote my goodbye letter on Christmas, and I went to work that morning, and I was planning on just leaving work early, and I had saved a bottle of pain pills from when I gave birth. And I planned on just taking those and going to sleep. But I ended up having a psychotic break at work, and my husband came to get me, and instead of taking me home and letting me rest, he took me straight to the ER. I was combative. I fought him. And so I ended up, he saved my life, in other words. I was admitted to the behavioral health unit, and I was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. So how this all ties into my business is that I use my story to reach women. And this year, my word for 2020 is obedient. And it's hard with my color personality to be obedient because I'm stubborn. And if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. But I feel like every single time I've shown up when God asked me to, when I've been obedient to his calling, and I feel like my second chance at life is sharing my story. I had no idea it would impact my business as much as it has. But when I'm obedient and I share that part of my life, it automatically affects my business in the most incredible way. So whatever calling is on your heart, your story needs to be heard by somebody. Someone needs to know your story. And you guys, I kept that a secret for 5 years. I did not share it. No one knew it. It was something I felt shame with. I was feeling super just yucky about it for a long time. And I made my first video about it in 2016 on Facebook, and it actually went viral. It had about 50,000 views, which for Facebook is pretty good. And then I started getting into groups, and I started networking with moms that were struggling with postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. The reason I do that is not because I'm like, I can get these women and they're going to sign with me in my business. It's because that's what brings me joy. That's what I'm passionate about. How can I positively impact someone? So if I'm doing that and I'm obedient and I'm caring about people, and then they're adding me as a friend and they're following me on social media, and then they see what I do, what's the first question they always ask? What is it that you do? Or like, what's your business? Or how are you staying at home? So I want you guys to really think tonight about what it is on what's on your heart that you need to share and you haven't shared yet. Because that thing that you don't want to talk about is something that someone else needs to hear. They need to know your story. They need to know what's on your heart. Because a lot of times they're afraid to speak up about it. And you guys, when that video went viral, it's got 3.8 million views or 7 million views now. So blew me out of the water. It blew up my Instagram. It ended up helping all of my other videos, because right before that I posted a coffee video, and before that I posted an opportunity video. And so I was getting all these influencer applications, and I've signed a lot of distributors this month from that. So you guys, this is where it's at, right? Instagram, TikTok, sharing your story. And I can go into as much detail on anything that you want me to, but that's basically it.
Yay. Thank you so much, Kelsi. I wrote down some questions as you were talking because I was just like, oh, this is so good. But your story is truly amazing. And I didn't want to be like, make sure you share this and that. I wanted it to be like from your heart. But I'm really glad that you kind of like rewinded and went back to that, because I don't think a lot of people here do know your story. So, you know, your full story. So thank you so much for sharing. And that's like, to me, just something that truly stands out for you. And I said it, I kind of hinted at it in the beginning, where, you know, you being transparent with these things that people, I mean, like, so you felt shame for the, you know, during that time. And then you finally listened to God and shared it. And then look what's come out of that. But you have to think too, like, if you're feeling shame, like how many other women out there are feeling that same shame, and now they're able to relate to you. And I mean, that goes for everything, you guys. Like, and I'm not saying like you have to share all your deepest, darkest secrets just to enroll distributors, but like when you share those things that other people can truly relate with, when you can get raw and real and vulnerable, people aren't wanting to see perfect, like, I don't, you know, perfect little influencer lady. Like, they want to see the real you, and that's how they fall in love with you. Like, what sets you apart from me and from Kelsi and from Rochelle? And you know what I mean? Like, we're all at Works distributors. So why are they going to pick me instead of Kelsi? And it's because I have different experiences than Kelsi has. You know what I mean? So one question that I have is, through your journey, you said in 2018 was your 2020, and you kind of had to like start over. So I feel like we have people, including myself, really, not necessarily right now, but at one time, where you have to like make a decision to either A, start over, or just like, you know, pick up the pace again, like get things going again, because you're either like status quo or you've fallen back. And it's like, I think a conversation that I've had a lot with some leaders even is, well, I was here and now I'm here, and I just can't even fathom or imagine like getting back there and then beyond. So like, I guess my question is, what did you do to start over, you know?
So at that point, I was overweight. I had just had my fourth baby, and I felt so uncomfortable in my own skin. And I actually chose not to breastfeed after I delivered, because I was dealing with some emotional stuff during my pregnancy. And part of having that history is like, okay, do I go ahead and start medication, or what do I choose to do? I'm very open about that. And I think whatever you do for yourself, it's okay, right? So what I was excited about is that because I wasn't nursing, I could take all the things. I was drinking the coffee. I started doing TFX as soon as it was released. So TFX was released like 2019 spring-ish. I truly became the product of the product. And I can tell you right now, the last time my business boomed before then and before this year, when I was going triple, we had something called the system, and I lost a bunch of weight on the system. And it was like, I promoted because of that. People are watching you. When you are not afraid to share yourself and your struggles, but also your little wins, and end your post positively or end your videos positively, guess what happens? Like, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, yes, girl, I'm cheering you on. Like, keep going, keep going. And losing weight for me was like, I was like breaking the shell off of my old self. And it's easy to compare yourself to yourself when you've been successful at one point and then you've fallen back. So I've been there. I've lost rank. I've lost my team. I've had to rebuild. But the number one thing I did was truly become the product of the product, and not all of them, just my favorites. And it got so awesome. It was like people were just coming to me all the time because they knew I was fiercely consistent with posting about my coffee, about the TFX, about the cleanse, and things like that. So that was number one. Number two, I started just doing things that were really outside of my comfort zone. I started just talking to more people. I was following up in a way that I had never followed up before. I started voice messaging all the time. I want you guys to really think about your gifts. And if you're not sure what your gifts are, you can talk to your leader. But I think deep down inside, we all know what we're a little bit good at. And what I'm a little bit good at is letting the passion fly up out of me. Like, I know I can always close a distributor or a customer if I voice message, because they can feel my excitement. That energy is flowing right through me. I think it speaks volumes when they hear your voice, and it's not just a copy and paste message, right? It means more. So that's what I did. I mean, I brought new people into my business, and I just looked at it as an opportunity to start fresh. If you're in a space right now, because it's easy to get really tired this time of year, especially because 2020 is so 2020. It's easy to get tired. But instead of looking at it as like, oh my gosh, I have so far to go, get really excited. Because when you bring in new people, you bring in new energy. And the only way you can fix any problems is by taking action. And I don't care if it's messy or ugly or not the best action. It's better than the girl that knows all the things that literally won't do anything. Because I've had those people on my team where I'm like, well, what are you doing? You're not doing the things. And then I've got a girl that's ignorance on fire, and she's enrolling like a beast. And I'm helping her a lot, like helping her train those DTs. You guys see what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to not know exactly how long it's going to take, for those of you that are impatient. You just have to trust the process. And like you said, I was at that crossroads where I was like, crap, am I going to quit? I've had a fun run. I've made a lot of money. This has been good for a while, but seriously, am I going to hang on? And the decision to stay was, a lot of it was my husband saying like, Kels, you didn't come this far just to come this far. Pick yourself up, get your charts out, and let's see how far you are away from this, or who you can build to this. And that's really what I did moving forward.
Love that. Thank you. Girls and guys, whoever's on here, drop in the chats if you have any questions for Kelsi, and I will kind of weed through them and try to get to them. Another question that I have for you, and it's kind of like, I mean, you probably do have your favorite, but you mentioned that you really started to like dive into self-development at one point in your business. I think you said you got to triple without it. And then you were like, look, I need to figure out how to like be a better leader, be better, in all these different areas. And we talk about self-development constantly on this team. Like, it's very, very big for us, but I always like to hear other leaders' perspectives on it, or I guess you could say just like your favorites. So are there any books that like really stand out to you, or any podcasts that you love that we could possibly write down or drop in the chats?
Yeah. So this year I wouldn't have made it through 2020 without personal development. Like, I look forward to it every single day. And I'm someone that's like, I don't have time for that. Like, I've got other things to do. But I made myself listen to as much personal development as possible. So I think I finished my 26th book of the year, which, in my mind, I'm like, I should have read more. But having the schedule that I do and finishing that many books, I feel like it's an accomplishment. I'm trying to be positive here. But my favorite book of the year is The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's short. I forget Florence Scovel, I think, is the author, but you can listen to that in 2 days. And that book transformed the way that I looked at everything in 2020. Like, seriously, you guys, I wish that I could explain, the way that I viewed myself, because I had a very negative view on myself for a long time. Last year, right after my 30th birthday, I had a get right with God moment, like hard, like he worked on my heart a lot. And I realized that I was just not doing things to glorify him, and it was affecting every part of me in my business. So I was introduced to the Transformation Church, Mike Todd's Crazy Faith series. And that was a huge transformation that came from personal development. So if you have not listened to that yet, I need you to, okay? And one of y'all is going to listen to it, and then you're going to message me and be like, thank you so much. That's the one that I'm just sharing with everybody, because it's insane. Like, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. And when I have a bad day, the first thing I turn on is that sermon series. My kids have heard it. They know the Crazy Faith talk, like they know it all. So Crazy Faith series on YouTube, Mike Todd, anything from Transformation Church is gold in my opinion. The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel. I just want to warn you, it was written in the 1920s, but it's extremely relevant to now, okay? With some of the stuff she said, I was like, dang girl, we haven't talked like that in a long time. So I went creeped on her whole life, and she's pretty cool. That author is incredible. Another really good one is Kevin Hart's The Decision. That is such a good book. The Decision. If you're like somebody that wants to listen to stuff that's upbeat, that's a really good one. I just finished that. If you're looking for leadership, I think the best leadership book to start out with is The 5 Levels of Leadership by John C. Maxwell, or Leader Shift. So I have the paperback, and I have it on Audible, and that's one that I've actually listened to 3 times this year, because every time I listen to it, I get more and more and more out of it. You guys, if you're somebody that struggles with moods or emotions, that's something I have to wade through all the time because I'm a blue. I know that the first thing that's going to raise my mood or my vibe or whatever you want to call it, it's going to be personal development. So I'll stick my earbuds in and I'll unload the dishwasher and listen. I start my day with it. If I'm in the shower, it's on. And my kids just know when we ride in the car, there's no music. They're listening to personal development right along with me. And then the last one is, oh my gosh, my brain just had a fart. Hold on. Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Oh my gosh, that one is so good. If you've struggled with money mindset, that's where it's at. It just transforms the way that you view money. You guys, something that I took away from this year is that there's enough for you. There's enough for you and me and the next girl and the next girl. So if you're holding out on growing your Instagram or growing your TikTok account or posting because you're like, blah, 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 post these videos and she got 2,000 applications. There's no one left for me. Yes, there is. There's millions and millions of people on social media, and you're counting yourself out. And if you really think about it, like, this is slightly off subject, but if you truly think about the magic of social media, I mean, how often do you put stuff out there and then somehow the right person sees it? But if you don't put it out there, no one's going to see it and no one's going to know. And how are they going to start watching you or reach out to you? And how are you going to, what are the 3 things that I talk to my team about a lot is educate, entertain, and inspire. If you can do 1 or 2 or all 3, you are winning on social media. Educate, entertain, and inspire. Those are things that people look for. They want an emotion evoked. So if you can do that, then you're winning, right? So the 5 levels of leadership, I'm like really stuttering right now, is John C. Maxwell. I don't know what it is about that man's voice, but he like calms me down, just makes me feel so cozy. I love him.
Thank you, girl. I've read a bunch of these, but I still like wrote them down like so fast. It's dang Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Me and my girl Ashley were just talking about it this morning, and every time I hear it, I'm like, yes, I need to pick it back up. And then I like immediately forget. So I think the fact that I just heard it twice and one day I need to like get off of here and go right to that and listen to it. But I'm excited about the Michael Todd one too. I've like dabbled with his sermons and stuff, but I've never like really gotten into it. And for me, I need like a balance of like spiritual and leadership. Like those are my two big
Mhm.
ones. And I can always tell when I start to like lean more into another that I start to like miss that bucket. And I'm like really missing the like spiritual side of it. Like,
Mhm.
you know, you almost, when you like do your devotional in the morning just to like check it off the list. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good. But I'm starting to feel like not good. So I'm going to be jumping into that. So thank you for
Mhm.
those suggestions. A lot of people are texting me over here, and I think some people said it in the chats too, but everyone wants to know, as a mom of 4 kids, homeschooling 3 of them, COVID, all the things, like what is your schedule like? And then someone specifically asked for your TikTok schedule, if you even have one, because
Mhm.
I've been asking a lot of people that have been jumping on and co-hosting. Some of them are like, yes, this, and this, and then others are like, I just fly by the seat of my pants, and you know, it's great. So we're interested to know how it's going for you.
Okay, so if you're somebody who gets frustrated with yourself because you feel like you can't get enough done in one day, and then you're like, I'll wait till tomorrow, I'll get it together tomorrow. Hi, just want to tell you really quick, tomorrow is not good enough. It's now. Another good book to listen to is The Last Arrow by Erwin McManus. So it's really about like striking the arrows of your life. And like, we think we have all this time. We don't. Like, look back to when you graduated high school. I don't feel that old, but when I count how many years I've been out of high school, I'm like, dang, oh God, I'm old. And I have a 10-and-a-half-year-old and I'm only 31. So The Last Arrow is amazing. So you can't go to bed thinking that you're going to have your life together tomorrow if you fail to plan for tomorrow. Don't do that. You will wake up and it'll be 6 months later and you're still sitting at the same rank and you're still like, dang it, why am I still here? Why haven't, or you get to the end of the month, why haven't I done my steps to success? So I'm actually going to show you guys. I got to move my phone. Okay, this is a big freaking calendar. So I have this, and this, it gets filled in with all my kids' stuff. So this helps me get my life together. And then I don't have it in front of me, but it's called a Firefox planner. You can get it on Amazon. I might be wrong. I'm looking at it, but I can't see the title. So Firefox has the coolest inside of a planner I've ever seen. So you get to pre-plan your month, set goals for yourself, and then when the month is over, you go back and look and then evaluate what you did during that month. And it's really good if you're somebody that needs to be like more organized, but if you're scatterbrained, it's also something that you should have to keep you on track. So I also time block, because if I don't, I am just a hot mess. Is every day perfect? No. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I have my days are perfectly planned. Like, I can't plan for a sick kid and time block for that. But what I can do is hold myself accountable and show up for myself every day, as much as possible, by keeping myself on a strict schedule. So I'm a night owl. I could stay up till 3 a.m. and it would not faze me. But I hate getting up in the morning. So guess what I had to learn to do this year? I had to learn to get my butt up early. And I didn't like, I'm not a 5 a.m. club girl, okay? I'm not there yet. I will try. But I do make sure that I'm up by 7. And I know 7 is like, it's late for some of y'all, but I don't go to sleep typically until like 1:32, just because my brain is like, it's so annoying. I get a huge burst of energy and creativity at like midnight. It's just how I'm wired. So I actually take advantage of that, and I'll tell you guys when I get there. But I get up and I get most of my tasks done, or as much as I can. And I follow the TikTok schedule. So today, the best day or best times on Wednesday is like 7 and 8 a.m. So I made sure that last night before I went to bed, I had those videos ready and edited. And my goal right now is to get 2 to 3 TikTok videos out per day and 1 on Instagram Reels. And then I'm in my story on Instagram all day. I think right now the biggest thing that people are watching is your story, and they're watching your reels. They're not like scrolling your feed and checking your aesthetic as much as they used to. I think people want to see you real, raw, vulnerable yourself. So how do I do that with 4 kids? On Saturday and Sunday, I content create. and I batch create everything. So I'll get myself fully ready. And I know that sounds silly, but I have to. Like, how am I going to have time between homeschooling and leading my team and trying to, grow my team even more and work towards ambassador? Plus, when somebody has a problem, how am I going to do that? I have to be intentional with my time. And when I haven't been, my enrollment sucked, my paycheck sucked. I felt bad about myself. And like, woe is me hole. Have you ever been the woe is me hole? Like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. Like, you're going to be overwhelmed. Such is life. So why don't you make it easier on yourself by planning every single day out? So what I do is Saturday and Sunday, get myself fully ready, like sometimes lashes, like the whole nine, because that's how I feel best. If you show up with a messy bun and that's you and you feel confident and great in that, do it. Just, yes, sister, do it. But I personally, like, I feel my best when I am like, that's when I perform. Okay. It's like, you got Beyonce and Sasha Fierce. Like, I turn into Sasha Fierce in my mind. I know I don't look like that in real life, but that's what I do. And my husband knows Saturday and Sunday, he's going to be an Instagram husband, or he's going to take the kids out of the house for me. He's wonderful like that. Hi. Okay. Love you. Do you love? Okay. Shoot. Sorry. Got a kid not asleep. So that's what I have to do to stay on track and plan my days. And then at night is when I'll go through and edit those videos, because that's when I feel most creative. That's when that wording comes to me. And then I try to post at those right times. I will tell you, the video that went viral, I posted at a viral time. So it was like 2 p.m. on a Friday or something is when I posted it. And yeah, so I start my day at 7. I get up and I get my personal development in. I'm listening to something that raises my mood, because I'm not a morning person and my kids are like talking to me. I'm like, please don't talk to me. I don't want to see your face. Like, I love you, but get away. And I make myself do things because I don't like to in the morning. So whatever you're resisting or fighting against is probably the thing that you want to do. So if you're sitting here and you're just like, I need to sign distributors, but I just like don't want to message them. It's the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get your booty moving. And I'll tell you guys, like 2020 was a rough year for me too. With my business, I felt kind of like I couldn't get myself on a good schedule. And I don't know about y'all, but where I live, people are like, be fluid. The schedule's always changing. Like, school times are changing. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying here, but I'm also running a business. And some people don't understand that, and that's okay. But I'll tell you guys, I feel my best when I stick to that schedule. So when I do the most messaging, the most posting and things like that, that's in the evening after my kids have gone to bed. I schedule in time with my husband because I have to. If I don't, we don't see each other and we don't speak, and our marriage suffers and things like that. So I'm not saying be on your phone all day. You shouldn't. That's not healthy, is it? That's not, I think when I first started the business, it was like, be on your phone all day and do all the things and never rest. And like, no, don't do that. But be so intentional with your time that when you put your phone down, you know that you've done the things for your business that's going to create growth and going to create something that's going to compound over time. So I just started really getting consistent with my schedule about 3 to 4 months ago. And because of that, did I see it like an immediate pay raise? No, but I am now, like, it's coming in now because I made that decision to not use the circumstance of being tired or having too many kids or not having time as an excuse to not grow my business in this season. I know what it feels like to be left behind. Have you ever been left behind where everybody else is promoting and everybody's getting the bonuses and you're still sitting in the same dang place? Do you know the only thing you can do to fix that is to get up and move? You're not going to feel better about yourself until you do the thing that your leader or your enroller preaches. We don't preach it for no reason. We're doing it too. We're in the trenches with you. So that's what I've been doing, and that's like saved me. And I think I saw in the chat someone asked about reels. I do check that too. So I try to go by those times. But if you're somebody that struggles with comparison and you're trying to break into Instagram, I feel like you guys ever get on Instagram, you see those girls and you're just like, they were meant for this platform. They have their white couches and their size 2 body and their kids are perfect and they have curated content. They're so amazing. Hey, that's not me. But you know what the beauty of Instagram is, and every social media platform, is that you will always find your people. They're always out there. You just have to go look for them. And I found my people on those platforms. We're all hot messes, and it's okay. You can still be something special and be a hot mess. So that's what I've done, is just really grab a hold of the schedule and run with it. That was long-winded. I'm sorry.
No, that was good. Sorry, it takes me like forever to unmute myself from this ancient laptop. Okay, so I was like just scrolling through trying to make sure I didn't miss any chats. People, or any questions in the chats. People are very interested in the fact that you are very consistent with the times that you post. And it's so funny because I don't even remember who it was, but the last person that we had on here was like, I just post 3 back to back. And I'm the type of person that, this is a character flaw, so I don't even know why I'm sharing it actually, but like I like sway in the wind where I'm like, Kelsi said to do it at this specific time, but so-and-so said to do it like this way. And I'm like always changing it. But you got to find what works for you, I think. And for me, it's like, if I am like you and I have those scheduled times, but I miss a time, I don't post it at all because I'm like, it's not the right time.
Yeah.
But if I'm less strict about it and I'm like, I'm just going to post it right now because I was at brunch at that time. And if I don't post it now, then, I'd rather get 1,000 views than not post it and get 0 views, So you just you gotta do what works for you, in my opinion. So whatever that is, and maybe you have to play with it a little bit like I do, but you gotta find what works for you, and then you have to just do it. One thing that I do the same as you, starting recently, is the content, what do we call it? Content batching, where you just, for me, it's just watching TikTok for too long and finding the videos that I like and then copying them. That's what I do. But you got to have fun with it. And for me, I shared this with you guys last week. I have fun with it, but I'm also like sweating and feeling like a weirdo, but having fun with it at the same time. And I loved what you said about, I don't want to butcher how you said it, but like, what'd you say when you were talking about like turning everything into a game, but like figuring out the things that bring you joy and making sure you do those? Because for me, that's something that I have been like really trying to focus on pretty much starting in the summer, where I kind of got into my own little bit of a funk where I was just feeling kind of blah. And I can't blame it completely on 2020. Like it was me, it was all me. And so I've been working really hard at like making sure I'm doing things that bring me joy, not just in the business, but outside of the business too. Because when you have joy outside of the business, it's going to make you joyful within the business as well. And so that's something that I've really been focusing on myself. And then just like you said, getting into just consistency and discipline and just doing the things even when you don't want to. So love all of it. Thank you so much for sharing. Summer, I see something in here new. Is there a reason why you don't upload your TikToks to Reels? Like you said, you do 3 on TikTok and 1 on Reels. So do you not like share content across both platforms?
I do, but I don't usually post I take the best of those 3, I guess, that I feel fits Instagram Reels, because I feel like, TikTok, you can really get away with pretty much anything, right? You can just you can do anything. I try to pick the best of the 2 or 3, and that's what I put on Reels. So what I've noticed is I don't do I don't care if the TikTok stamp shows, it's still pretty good quality video, but I try to post it after I've interacted with people, after I've replied to stories. Then I'll do 15 minutes of engagement, and then I'll post it. And that's intentional because I feel like more people see it. I have no clue if there's science behind that. That's just what I do. You don't have to. But I don't know. I just really feel like if you don't jump on this now, you're going to miss the boat. And I know what it feels like to miss the boat over and over and over again. And it was this year that I was like, you know what? screw it. I'm not missing any more boats. Like, just do it, Kelsi. I'm so stubborn. I'll be like, I'm just going to sit back here and watch her and then her. And then I watched all these girls that I know go ambassador in the spring because of TikTok. And here I am doubting myself and my abilities. And God's like, girl, this is where you shine. I was in theater in high school. So I'm like, am I all the way good at it? No. But in my mind, I'm like, this is a blast. And I'm making money from, guys, from one stinking video. All it takes is one for your platforms to blow up. Like in the matter of like a few days on Facebook, I had over 1,000 new followers. I went from probably like 6,000 or 7,000 followers on TikTok to almost 50,000 in a week. So that's 50,000, or well, I think it's like 40 some thousand that are now seeing all of my content. And if I keep pumping out videos and I'm consistent, then eventually, if they haven't done the influencer application yet, or they haven't hit me up on Instagram yet, they're going to do it. So going into, and this is really, really important. If you don't take anything away from what I say, please hear this. And I know you've heard it from your leaders. If you don't work now, when everything is, about to explode in January, someone's going to have a big old freaking firework fest in their business, and you're going to have like a tiny little flame because you didn't do what you needed to do in this season of your business. When it feels hard, when it doesn't feel like many people are like, yeah, girl, I'm in. When people are like, no, I don't want to lose weight, or I'm saving for Christmas, or there's so much uncertainty in the world right now. If you're not putting all the content out there with not just the hope, but the belief and the knowingness of like, God's going to put his hand on my business and he's going to bless the work of my hands. But what I have to do is put it out there. So I want to challenge you guys to do that and start. Don't wait. Like, I know it's late, but don't be like, I'll just wait till like next month to start doing this. Please don't be a next month girl, because then you're always going to be a next month girl and you're never going to level up. And I know what it feels like to be in that space. I remember the month I went presidential, I sat in the shower and cried because I didn't think I was smart enough or worthy enough to ever hit Ambassador Diamond. It was so far out of reach for me. I never thought I could lead that team. I played the comparison game. And I just never viewed myself as that person that could get there. I thought I'd always be the one to hang out at Prez. And this is the year that I've finally done the personal development, that God's prepared me for what comes with going ambassador. Or maybe you're sitting here and you're like, I just want to go Diamond Kels. Okay. You've got to step into that role before you do it. And part of that is understanding that with every level up comes a responsibility. There comes pressure. Like, you're going to have more pressure when you hit Diamond. Or in my case, when I hit Ambassador, like, I know, okay, holy crap, that's a lot of volume. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of things that I'm now responsible for. And I think that God will mold, stretch, and push you to the limits before you're given that level up. So that's something that you need to take away from this and know in this season, November, everything I do counts. Every day counts. Every message I send counts. Every video counts. It all matters. So take that and freaking run with it, because what's going to come next year in our 20th anniversary is wild, like wild, wild. And if you're not ready, you're going to miss the boat again, and you don't want to do that.
Yes. I actually, when you said that, just got like re-fired up from the like little hints that they dropped in the VIP call this past week. I really haven't shared it with the team at all, but they basically said something along the lines of like, because it's our 20th anniversary, the whole year is just going to be like a huge party. And I'm a blue too. And when I hear party, I'm like, let's go. Like, what are we doing? So I'm so excited. And what you said, we've been sharing for, since October, like, plant the seeds now. Like, we are in seed planting season, and everything that you do now is just going to come back tenfold. Like, the trees will grow in January. So make sure that you're planting those seeds. And I know that so many are, but I know that some are just kind of like you said, like sitting around watching, looking left to right. So I love the reminder of just like, we're going for no here. We're going for no's, because all those no's are going to be yeses at some point. So right now we just need to be building our list, right? So excited for 2021. I think we're all ready for 2021 and 2020 to be over. But okay, give us one last just butt kicking. I know you're blue, but you said you got some red. So give us some fire before we let you go.
So I was sitting here thinking while you were talking, I was thinking about like, you know, when you're boiling water and you've got the lid, and I really feel like there's been a lid on us this year, right? There is so much pressure built up with everything that's going on in the world. Well, I want you guys to imagine really quick what it's going to be like when that pressure is released. How are they going to feel? Are you going to feel like, I know for me, I'm going to feel relieved. I'm ready to send my kids back to school. But more than that, when things just finally go back to some state of normalcy, how much people are going to be excited and ready to celebrate that moment. And I just think so many, and I know this is on my team too, so many people are just sitting on their hands, and you're missing out on incredible things when you do that. I didn't tell this part of my story, but I went double diamond like 4.5 months into my business, and then everybody freaking quit. Like literally I had 2 people left on my chart. And I remember bawling on my charts, just like it's ugly crying. October 2015. Okay. And my husband was like, he's my savior. He's like, get your charts out, and I want you to see how far away you are from triple. And I had like a few straggly people, but no leadership at all. And this was October, right? One of the hardest months of the year. And I counted 53. I needed 53 distributors to be set for triple diamond. And I went to conference that year as a emerald or ruby. I don't know. I was making less than 1,000. And you guys, I went to conference. I came out. I enrolled all those distributors, most of them by myself. And then I came out with, this huge freaking paycheck. I promoted. So I went from emerald, being paid as emerald, to triple, and my husband being my double the next month. And if I would have sat on my freaking hands that fall and just not done a dang thing, would I have gotten there? Absolutely not. I would have just still been, I would be that person that lost rank and stayed there. And that sucks. Nobody wants that. So what you have to do right now in this moment is push your feelings and emotions aside. Get rid of it. I don't care if you have to write them down and light it on fire. Do something to burn it. And I need you to have this vision for what you want coming after Christmas. What do you want? And get clear. It's not just like, I just really want to be a diamond, like $2,000 a month would be really cool. No, girl, I need you to get so specific it hurts. Like, it will pain you to not have what you want. And it's not about being hungry anymore. It's about starving for the thing that you want. And I remember making my dream board that year, and we wrote all this crazy stuff out, just like buy my husband a truck with cash and go to Europe. Like, I was a young mom. I had 3 kids at that time. Traveling internationally, not on the like board for me. Wasn't happening. 2017, I surprised my husband with a 12-day trip to Europe, and we did the dang thing together, and it was so special. And that's because of the work that I put in the fall before. Everything matters. And the way that I explain it to my kids is this: if you go to the store and you buy 1 sheet of computer paper, is it heavy? Is it strong? No, it's flimsy, it's light. When you go to the store and you buy one of those big frigging like stacks of computer paper, it's heavy and it's firm. But all that stack is 1 piece of paper upon another, upon another, upon another. So every single day, like I said, counts. It matters. And if you're holding back, you need to identify why. And then you need to write down, what are those things that you want? What are you hungry for? What change do you need to make in order to become her? That girl that you've always wanted to be, or that person that you admire. You step into her before you become her. What does she look like? How does she act? How does she speak about herself? How does she speak about others? Does she gossip or does she reverse gossip? Does she find the good in everybody, in every situation? Does she look forward to what God's going to plant in her life next? How does she eat? How does she sleep? Does she exercise? Does she take care of herself? What's her bank account look like? Now you got to show up like her every single day until you become that woman. And when you finally become her, you set the bar a little bit higher. But it starts right now in this very tiring season of your business. It starts right now.
Amen. Oh my gosh, everything you said, I was like, I need to hear this. Like that, did you plan that for me, that last tip there?
Maybe.
But that was so good. Thank you so much, Kelsi, and thank you for joining us tonight and taking this time out of your evening. I hope this wasn't your normal like husband time that you jumped on here with us.
No, he knows. Sometimes
he knows.
He takes me on a date on Fridays. It's
okay.
fine.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
So you guys are all set up. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I know that I already have a couple of texts from girls that are like, this is just what I needed to hear. And I'm like, I know. That's why I got her over here. So thank you so much. You guys have a great night. And we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks, Kelsi.
Thank you.